Have you ever felt attacked for doing what is right, misunderstood, judged, or surrounded by forces that want to break your spirit? Sometimes, the deepest pain is not caused by what we did wrong, but by remaining faithful when others chose injustice. Today, this prayer is for the one who feels unheard, yet still believes that God sees the truth hidden in the heart. Stay until the end, because there is a powerful reassurance waiting for you. A reminder that God never ignores a sincere cry. Welcome to Daily Prayer, your moment to breathe, reflect, and reconnect with God. Take a deep breath, let your shoulders relax. This is your sacred pause in the middle of a noisy world. Here, you don't need to pretend to be strong. You don't need perfect words. This is a place where honest prayers rise gently to heaven. If this space brings peace to your soul, allow yourself to like this moment and turn on notifications, so you never miss a refuge of prayer when your heart needs it most. Psalm 17 is a prayer born from innocence and trust. It is the voice of someone who knows their heart is being tested, examined, even misunderstood, yet remains confident that God sees what no human eye can see. David speaks not as someone claiming perfection, but as someone standing before God with sincerity. He brings his cause not to people, but to the Lord. He knows that human judgment can fail, but God's judgment is always just. God sees beyond appearances. He examines the heart in silence, even in the night, even in the fire of trials. Maybe today, you feel like you've been doing your best to walk uprightly. You've tried to choose the right path, to control your words, to stay fightful, yet opposition still rises against you, and you wonder quietly, why does this feel so hard if I am trying to do what is right? This psalm gently reminds us, God sees every step. He knows when your heart has been faithful, even when your strength feels small. He hears prayers that come not from perfect lips, but from honest ones. There is something deeply comforting in knowing that we don't need to defend ourselves before God. We simply present our hearts. We let Him judge with mercy. We trust that He is listening, not distracted, not distant, not indifferent. As we continue this prayer, you'll discover that this is not only a cry for justice, but a declaration of trust, a prayer from someone surrounded by threats, yet sheltered by faith. Someone who knows that even in danger, God remains close. Stay with me. What comes next speaks directly to the soul that feels vulnerable, watched, or targeted, and longs to be hidden safely in God's presence. Now that this prayer has opened the heart, it moves deeper into the tension between innocence and opposition, faith and pressure. There are moments when doing what is right does not bring peace immediately. Instead, it brings resistance. David knew this pain well. He felt surrounded by people who acted with arrogance, whose hearts had grown hard, whose words were sharp and proud. Not everyone who opposes you does so loudly. Some watch in silence. Some wait. Some circle slowly, looking for the moment you feel weakest. Maybe you recognize this feeling, the sense of being watched, misjudged, pressured, as if your steps are being measured, not to support you, but to trap you. It's exhausting to live with that kind of tension. It wears down the soul. Yet David does not respond with revenge. He does not ask for power over others. He does not try to fight with human strength. Instead, he turns his vulnerability into prayer. He brings his fear into God's presence and says, in essence, you see what they don't? You know my heart. This is where faith becomes deeply personal, because when you are surrounded by opposition, you realize something important. Human protection has limits, but God's protection does not. David asks to be guarded in the most intimate way possible, not just protected from afar, but held close, watched over carefully, covered, sheltered, hidden where harm cannot reach him. This is not the prayer of someone who feels powerful. It is the prayer of someone who knows their safety depends entirely on God. Take a slow breath right now. Let this truth settle in your heart. You don't need to be stronger than your enemies. You don't need to outsmart those who wish you harm. You need to be close to God. There is a quiet strength in choosing trust when fear would be easier. There is courage in surrender. And there is protection in humility that the world does not understand. David recognizes that some people live only for what they can gain in this life. Their satisfaction is temporary. Their hunger is never truly filled, but he chooses something different. He chooses to anchor his hope beyond what is visible, beyond what is immediate. And that choice changes everything. Because when your heart is fixed on God, even those who surround you cannot define your future. Even threats lose their power. Even fear begins to loosen its grip. What comes next is the turning point of this prayer, where fear gives way to confidence and trust rises higher than danger. Stay with me, because the next part reveals the quiet victory that comes when your soul rests in God alone. Take another deep breath and allow your heart to be still for a moment. Now the prayer shifts. Something changes inside David. The danger has not disappeared. The pressure has not vanished, but his soul is no longer trembling, because when trust reaches this depth, fear begins to lose its authority. David understands that God is not only watching from a distance, God is near. Close enough to hear the quietest cry, close enough to defend what is right, close enough to stand between him and those who wish him harm. This is where faith becomes more than belief. It becomes rest. There is a moment when the soul stops asking, "Will God help me?" and begins to whisper, "God is already here." And in that moment, something inside you settles. Your breathing slows, your heart softens, your spirit straightens. David no longer measures his safety by the strength of his enemies. He measures it by the presence of God. And that changes the entire perspective. He knows that those who live only for this world may seem powerful for a moment, but their fulfillment is shallow and temporary. Their satisfaction ends where circumstances change. But the one who anchors their hope in God stands on something eternal. Maybe today you feel surrounded by people who seem confident, loud, secure, while you feel quiet, tired, and exposed. But this prayer reminds us that spiritual security does not look like arrogance. It looks like trust. It looks like humility. It looks like placing your life fully in God's hands. Let this sink in. You are not weak because you choose faith. You are not vulnerable because you pray instead of fight. You are not losing because you trust God's justice over human power. There is strength in waiting on God. There is protection in surrender. There is peace in knowing that your life is seen, known, and guarded by Him. David's confidence now rises, not because the threat is gone, but because his eyes are no longer fixed on it. His focus has shifted, and when your focus shifts, your fear does too. What remains now is not anxiety, but assurance, not panic, but hope, not noise, but clarity. And this leads us to the final truth of this prayer, the quiet promise that carries the soul beyond fear, beyond this life, into lasting peace. Stay here with me. What comes next is the resting place of the faithful heart. Take a slow, gentle breath, and let everything you've been holding loosen just a little. At the end of this prayer, David no longer speaks from fear, but from clarity. His heart is calm. His spirit is steady. He understands that no matter how loud the threats were, no matter how close the danger felt, his life has always been in God's hands. There is a peace that comes when you realize this truth. God does not need to rush to defend you. He has never stopped protecting you. David's confidence is not rooted in circumstances changing, but in his relationship with God remaining unshaken. He knows that what truly satisfies the soul is not victory over enemies, not recognition, not comfort in this world, but the assurance of standing before God with a clean heart and a secure hope. And this is where the prayer gently lands. Not in anger, not in revenge, but in trust. The kind of trust that allows you to rest, even when answers are not immediate. The kind of trust that lets you sleep in peace, knowing that God sees what others twist and knows what others ignore. David's hope reaches beyond this life. He understands that the deepest fulfillment is not found in what we accumulate here, but in the certainty that one day we will awaken fully in God's presence, satisfied, whole, and at peace. And this promise is not just for him. It is for you. If today you feel innocent yet accused, faithful yet tired, surrounded yet still standing, know this: God sees you. He hears your quiet prayers. He guards you more closely than you realize. And nothing, no enemy, no season, no injustice has the power to take you out of his care. Take this moment to rest your heart in that truth. If this prayer spoke to your soul, share it with someone who may be carrying a silent battle. And remember, daily prayer is a place you can return to whenever your heart needs refuge, reassurance, and peace. May your spirit rest tonight knowing you are seen, protected, and deeply loved by God.